Not the best example, but it works. So I'm looking for a student that has good notes versus I'm looking for the student that has good notes, okay? This one, we don't know who the student is. We don't know if they exist per se. We don't have a particular person in mind. We're just looking for one that meets this qualification of having good grades. Okay? Whereas in this case, we're looking for a student and we're giving more information about this known student. And the fact is, so, let me try and explain that better. That was really bad. I'm looking for the student that has good notes. So you're using this to describe the student that you're looking for, but it's, you know who that student is. You know that this person exists. You're just looking for that person. Does that make sense?
So that would not be subjunctive.
No, because you know who it is.
You know who it is.
Well, you know they exist.
Okay.
I'm looking for the student with blonde hair. So out of all the students, you know who she is. You may not know her by name, or him, or whatever. One of the things you remember about that person is that they have blonde hair.
Okay.
Or if you're in a doctor's office, you could say something like, I'm looking for the doctor that does heart exams, as opposed to all the other doctors. You know they exist, you know who they are. You're just describing to the other person, like, this is what I'm looking for. This is who I'm looking for.
Oh,
Okay? So do you see, like, in the first one, we don't know who they are. We're just looking for somebody who fits this qualification. In the second one, we're using this to describe the person that we are looking for.
Okay, yeah. So that's more just, the top one's more just like a general idea of something that you want.
Yeah. And there's no specific or existent person, I guess we could say, that we're looking for. Whereas in this one, we know exactly who we're looking for.
Okay.
We're just using the adjective clause to describe that person, to help the other person that we're communicating with understand who it is we're talking about.
Okay. So like you could say, I'm looking for a book that teaches me German or something like that. And then, or when compared to like, I'm looking for the book that teaches me German,
yeah. Right? So you may have a textbook for German class, and you're talking to your roommate, and you're like, I'm looking for the book that teaches, I'm looking for my German book, or the German book, as opposed to, I'm at the library and I'm looking for a book that would teach me German.
Yeah.
Okay? Do you see how one is like, you know what it is existent, where the other one, you don't know whether it exists or not?
And so that falls under the antecedent.
The antecedent in this case would be la estudiante or un estudiante.
Okay.
Okay?
And you can use either one for the antecedent. So they both work.
What do you mean?
So it's just the student, so it can still be subjunctive or indicative, it doesn't matter. It's still always just going to be.
Yeah, it just depends on whether it is a non-existent and indefinite thing or a specific and existent one.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay, that makes sense.
Let's see what else. Oh, when you're describing a place, instead of using K, you're going to use donde. And then could you still use the subjunctive, even though it's donde instead of K? Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Oh man, I hope I'm not losing my voice. Donde is still a conjunction.
Okay.
So K is not the only conjunction, but it'll be used a lot of the time. Donde, cuando we'll get to in a little bit, but those are also conjunctions. Okay?
Okay.
And then personal law, you can go over these two, they're not too bad. If it's a question with the adjective clause, it's typically going to be in subjunctive also, where the answer doesn't necessarily have to be. Sorry, let's move on.
Alright. So then this was, no, this isn't subjunctive.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, it is subjunctive.
Okay, purpose and contingency. Okay, so this is just giving you a new aspect. I think these are moving on to adverb clauses, maybe. I think. Okay, purpose and contingency. It's like A will happen if B happens, or A will happen unless B happens. So it's like the second one. I'm trying to think which one's contingent upon the other. One of them is contingent on the other, like unless before provided that, this provided that, this unless that, this before this in case that. Does that show, do you understand how that's contingent?
I think so.
Okay, so they're just saying that you'll have subjunctive and a contingent clause because it's, if you look at contingency, it is all hypothetical. Like this happens if
something else
provided that happens.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then with the same subject, you just use infinitive again, just like before.
Oh, okay.
Let's move on.
All right.
Sorry, I'm trying to get to your question and we only have a couple minutes.
It's all good. There's future.
Yeah, future you'll use present subjunctive in. We don't need to worry about. Okay, but yes, they talk about this. This is a good part. This is where future works in the subjunctive. Okay. So you have two different situations. You have something that's habitual, and you have something that is, how do they put it? So habitual or completed, or future and pending. So we have like cuando. I buy bananas when I go to the store. It's something that I always do. Compro bananas cuando voy a la tienda. Versus I will buy bananas when I go to the store.
Okay.
Okay, that is more future, it's more pending. So in that case, we'd use the subjunctive. So compraré los bananos cuando vaya a la tienda. So in that case, we'd use subjunctive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same with all of those.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. Sorry, my stomach is like growling.
Good. Mine probably will be too soon. Sexy out hungry. Past subjunctive.
All right, and past subjunctive. Great. So all that stuff we went through is applicable in the past. And in the past subjunctive, the difference is that the main clause is going, okay, this isn't 100% of the time, but I think for what you've learned, this will be a good indicator, okay?
Okay.
So if the first clause is in the past, so if you use preterite or imperfect, not preterite, yes, preterite or imperfect, or even past subjunctive, past perfect, so el pluscuamperfecto. I don't know if you've learned that one really too much. It's like hubieron or habían hecho. You probably haven't learned that one too much yet.
Not too much. No.
So yeah, just think about preterite and imperfect. If the first clause, the indicative clause of all the, so like all the things that we talked about, you can use them in the past. And the same things apply. So if the first clause is in the past, then the second clause will follow up with a subjunctive. So instead of I want you to go to the store, I wanted you to go to the store. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So it's just, instead of having in the present and expressing these hypothetical things, it's in the past now.
Okay, so all of those things that we just went over, that's all for
Yes.
past subjunctive. Okay.
It's the same thing, you're expressing the same idea, the same mood. So all of these rules really, almost all of these rules really apply. Let me think. I think all the ones that we've gone over today still apply in the past subjunctive.
Okay.
Okay? And then you have if-then clauses. With the if-then clauses, you will use the you will use the past subjunctive after the if, and then in the then clause you use the conditional.
Okay.
And then other than that, I don't think they really talked about conditional too much in your book other than that.